Hello guys, happy Tuesday, Instagram and Facebook. As you know, I do live videos every day, and I'm coming to you from a beautiful upstate New York, warm sunny day, so hello. And everyone hops on Facebook, drop an emoji if you hop on. Tell me you're here, tell me a hey, that way more people can see this if they're hopping on to Facebook. They can see I'm live and they can join me while I'm live because it's, not quite 3:30, but the house is currently quiet. So I want to talk today about Transition Tuesday. And as you know, every day has a theme. And today I talked to you guys about a transition that I've gone through in my life, right? And something that I've learned from, and hey neighbor, Instagram just paused. Okay, what I've learned from that experience. So today, I didn't know I was going to talk to you guys about with Transition Tuesday, but here's the thing. I went to my kid's 6th grade graduation, and I was like, whoever thought I was going to have twins, right? So there's my transition. Guys, I went from having no kids to having twins. Was it planned? No. And if you guys are on Facebook, I did a funny post the other day of all the things that I get asked with twins. More so when they're little than they are now. Like, the best one is, they're a boy, girl. Are they identical? Just gotta give you guys a little biology question or answer here, or whatever. Biology lesson. In order to be identical, you at least have to be the same sex. So you at least have to have 2 boys or 2 girls. But I never am rude. I'm like, no, they're not identical, but like, are twins in the family, So all these questions that I hear all the time, and then you always have to hear everyone they know that are twins. But that's not the point of this video. The point is, I never expected, we were trying to have kids, and then when I saw I was having 2, I was like, oh my God, twins, right? Like, what is this? And my husband almost hit the floor. And even though it's his mom that's the twin, so that's what puts us at an increased risk of twinning. But here's my thing, guys. Like, when I were in utero, in my belly, I was reading all these books to try to prepare for parenthood, right? Everything under the sun, especially the what to expect when you're expecting. I think that was it. And then I think I got the one in the toddler years, and then I think I got books on twins. I got all the books. And can I tell you one thing? Sometimes your kids don't behave by the books. Like, sometimes you just, I think here's the common fear amongst us parents, is that we fear, and I have done parenting courses recently, and if you guys missed it, I had a parenting expert on my podcast. But here's the thing: we are fearing that we're doing it all wrong, right? We don't want to raise messed up kids, with blaming things from their childhood for whatever occurs to them 20 years from now, right? Because a lot of us had things from our childhood that are still following us around. But what I found is a lot of books got me through some of the basic things, but a few things I wasn't told. That one, I would be able to sleep eventually, because I actually thought, like, there's no more sleep in my world. And they get to 6 weeks and they start sleeping a little bit better. Although, now, in the preteen years, sometimes sleep is no longer a thing again, but it's getting better again. But what I've learned is that, you have to parent your kids individually. Like, the parenting books, they're great, like, for guidance, but I think it really comes down to the kid. And obviously your unique parenting style, which my husband and my parenting styles are a little bit different. We try to be united as much as we can. And the kid, right? It's not going to always work. I remember we were going to try to have them cry it out when they were little. I know. I think I bought a book on crying it out or something. All those baby things. And my daughter had reflux, so she would projectile vomit. So she couldn't really cry it out, because when she started crying hard, she would, like, vomit and potentially, like, aspirate her vomitus. So I had to hold her. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work, right? So my point is, like, I wasn't expecting to quit kids. We sort of went into it, like, blindly. We weren't even parents yet, and here we were going to have 2 little babies at home, working these crazy jobs, trying to raise 2 kids, trying to read all the books, trying to become as educated as we could on parenting, when I think at the end of the day I just threw the books in the garbage and was like, you know what, let's just wing it and figure this out, right? So I take some notes, but sometimes I can't even read my notes. Like, I write them so quickly. But some tips from the parenting expert I had on, and again, I can't remember what episode she was. She was, I think, episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. I should have looked before I got on. But we talked, and I timed it strategically right before summer vacation for a lot of people in the South and in the West, because we here in the Northeast are still in school until tomorrow. But, I think the woman I had on, her name was Sarah, and she basically helps overwhelmed moms, mostly moms. And why not dads? Because dads are usually not on board with getting help. She said she'd help the dads, but a lot of times it's the moms that are seeking help with the parenting struggles, the yelling, the feeling overwhelmed, the feeling like I can't do it all. And she gives you some key steps in my podcast, so go take a listen at Love to Leap with Dr. Renee. But she said a couple of interesting things that I wanted to share with you guys that I have implemented a little bit in our house. So I was asking, like, how do you get the kids to do chores, right? So she said, well, instead of just telling them to do chores, say that something has to be done, and then, I'm sorry for the wind, guys, and then ask them what's gonna happen. Like, so for instance, the recyclables need to be taken out, right? How's that gonna happen? Well, essentially they're gonna have to answer like, oh, I guess I'll take them out, right? We're working on that one. Instead of telling the kids, take the recyclables out, right? Well, it works. You can try it. Another thing she said is when your kids are doing something you don't want them to do, and you say there's going to be a punishment, ask the kids what the punishment should be. And that's a good one, because I did that recently with my kids. I was like, okay, so I forgot what it was. They want a puppy, and so we have a date of searching for a new puppy. I'm not ready yet. I'm still missing my Charlie pup on my arm. And they said, well, if we don't take care of the animals, which they currently have a cat who's sitting right here and a guinea pig, then you can keep pushing back the time that we search for a dog by a week. So it's already moved back a week. But they've been very good with their chores, which are, lunch boxes, recyclables, feeding the animals, dishwasher, laundry. And if they don't do that, we keep moving back because they dictated the punishment, or for not doing what they said that they would do. And you know what? Usually, like my podcast guest, Sarah, she said they picked something that you wouldn't even think of, like something that hits home a lot more. I think one day I even said, what should we do? Take your phone and your iPad away. And they're like, no. But so ask your kids what the punishment should be if they don't do whatever it is that you want them to do, right? And again, it usually hits home, and they most likely do what you ask them to do. And she just talked about connecting with your kids too. Even if you're reading books, go sit next to your kid and read a book, or even if you're on electronics, sit next to your kid and be on your electronics, as opposed to in different rooms. But there were a lot of other really great takeaways from that podcast. These are just a couple off the top of my head I thought of, and I probably didn't explain them as well as she did, so go back and take a listen. But the last thing I want to say is, when I was parenting my kids when they were little, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out on so much, and they need me so much. And I would always have parents tell me, no, they need you more when they're older. And I'm starting to see that. My kids are almost 12, and I'm starting to see emotionally that they need their mom and dad more than when they were little. You guys are falling all over the place. So I am super grateful that I'm home with them now, so I can at least be there physically and emotionally for whatever they need me for. And yeah, so that's my rant on twins. It's not easy. It's funny, when I was pregnant with them, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have twins. And I remember actually after having them in the first 6 weeks when we didn't sleep at all, and I think my husband said this is incompatible with life. I think that's the time I started telling people, like, I love my kids, I love that I have twins, but I wouldn't wish them on the world, because like one child at a time is perfect. Yes, I got two and done. I love my kids to death, but it's definitely been a challenge having two at once, being a new mom and having two kids at once, and trying to learn how to parent, and a boy and a girl at that. Like, they're not even the same sex. They're two different, and they're two different kids. Everyone's like, oh, I don't know. Like, a lot of times now they can't even tell they're twins because he's taller than her and what have you. But it was certainly a shock, a transition from having no kids and having 3+ years of bliss with my husband and just the two of us. We were so ready to have kids, and then be boom, twins. So it's not been easy, but it's been fun. I've learned a lot. Can I write a parenting book based on it? No, because I don't think I'm an expert parent. Like, I feel like I'm an expert at a lot of other things. I'm learning as I go. I just took a parenting course with one of my friends did it and learned a few things. And again, once you put yourself in the energy of having other, like, around other, mostly mothers, I don't think there were any fathers in that group, having sort of the same struggles as you're having, it's kind of nice to hear the feedback of how to deal with it. Oh, and the last thing I want to tell you guys is I think when I became a better mother when I started to take time for myself and slow down a bit. When I was living my rat race of a life, it got a little bit better when I started exercising, because at least it was a little bit of a stress relief, and then I started feeling more energetic and happier as a person. That made it a little bit better. But I have to say, within the last year, with like just becoming calmer and just slowing down a lot and taking breaths when I want to yell, instead of yelling, I breathe. That's helped a lot. So for all my, oopsie, there goes Instagram again. For all my overwhelmed mamas out there, just take a deep breath. In, count of 4, hold for a count of 4, out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4. Do that like 5 times and you'll feel much better. So, okay guys, the moral, the end of that story is, start taking care of yourself. Don't put everything you have into your kids or your husband. You got to save a little bit in the tank for yourself. Otherwise, you're pouring out of an empty cup, and that doesn't help anybody. And that makes you just overwhelmed and grumpy and cranky and unable to deal with anything. So, yeah, take time for yourself. I don't care what it is. Mine is exercise and trying to eat as well as I can. So then I feel as good as I can, and slowing down. I currently meditate daily. I take some time to read. I'll do another talk some other time. Someone just said that they don't have enough time, and I hear that a lot. And some days I feel like the same way, but we'll talk about that some other time. But take time for yourself, even if it's 20-30 minutes a day. You're worth it. You're worth it. Okay. All right. I will say goodbye to Instagram first. Bye bye Instagram. See ya. And then bye-bye Facebook. Thank you for joining me, guys. And, this is more of a, not even a rant. It was just more of a conversation with you about the transition that I never thought I would have, but I had, and I'm surviving currently. And they're almost 12. And we're all still alive. Okay, guys, have an amazing Tuesday. Enjoy this beautiful weather if you're in New York. And we'll talk to you soon.